Hello, I'm Princess Serena, not Princess Serena, and today I'm going to give you some tips on how to trade pins online. So let's get into it. The most important tip I can probably tell you is how to start pin trading, and it may be enticing to check out those eBay pin lots. They're super cheap, they're less than $1 a pin, but in reality they're full of fakes, they're full of scrappers, and that's a whole separate video topic what those are, but they're just not good quality. And a way to make sure they're most likely authentic pins is to join a Facebook pin group. I'm in Canada, so I'm a part of the Canadian pin trading group, but there are so many US groups as well as UK and all around the world, and some that accept international pin traders. Once you join one of these groups, you should take some time, browse through the pins, because people are posting their traders and pins that they're selling and just pins showing off their collections, just to take your time and think about what you might want to collect, because there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Disney pins out there, and it's easy to get overwhelmed and go a little pin crazy. It may not look like it, but my pin collections are pretty specific. But it's normal at the beginning to kind of collect a little bit of everything, but just to get an idea of maybe 3 to 5 maybe characters or movies that you'd like to collect going forward. And then once you have an idea of that, think of that in the back of your head when you post your first ISO post. So ISO means in search of. So you would type up ISO pins under $10 or under $5, and you wouldn't be too picky about the characters because you're on this video because you want to pin trade. You don't want to necessarily only buy pins, but to get traders first you have to buy, of course. So to get the cheaper pins, now this may sound like a lot because the eBay ones are less than $1, but these are real. They come from booster packs, from mystery packs, pins that are less valuable, and then from there, when you get a bunch of those, you can use those to trade for pins that you want and build up your collection that way. I suggest getting a bunch of cheaper pins from the same couple of people just to cut on shipping costs. It's important that you ask pictures of the front and the back of the pin, close-ups, so you're able to verify that they're real pins. I made the mistake of going to the post office and buying a bubbler mailer every single time I needed one, but this is a waste of money and a waste of a trip to the post office when it is much cheaper to buy in bulk. So once you have your traders on the way, you can go to eBay or Amazon and buy bubbler mailers. So this is a 4x8 bubbler mailer. It comes in different colors. I just get the pink ones. I don't want it too dark because I write on it someone's address. And I also have return labels as well that I get on Amazon with my address. I'm not going to show you that because it has my address on it, but if you ever trade with me, you'll see them. It's fun. You could get different backgrounds, different designs. So if you're really looking to trade a lot, then I think, again, it's a time saver just to put your address, and all you'd have to write is the person's address. And then this doesn't fit all pins if you want to do a bigger trade. So I also get this size as well, which makes a difference, and you could fit more pins in here securely. I also have larger envelopes as well for like very big trades, but I think this is a very good start, these two sizes. You would search up poly bubbler mailers and then which size you prefer. I get packs of 50. It ranges between $20, $25, maybe $27, $28 in Canadian. I'm not sure about the States, but you can look that up on eBay or Amazon. There are lots of listings. And at first I thought 50, oh my goodness, am I really gonna need 50? They go by fast. Like once you get into the pin game, you're in deep. Like all of this was basically, got this within a year. I started heavily pin trading once quarantine started, and I'll make a separate video about how I got into pin trading and how I built my collection from a small corkboard to this. Another important tip is to go to the post office and get a bunch of stamps. For Canada, you get a bunch of packs of 6 of $1.94 stamps. And that way you have them at home, and then you have the bubbler mailers at home. So then when you're ready to trade, you're ready just to put it in and then drop it off in the mailbox right near your house. And you don't have to go out every single time that you need to trade. If you're in the States, you can go to the post office and ask how that works and what the postage is. Also in Canada, if you have permanent stamps already and you're wondering how to use those so you don't have to waste those, that's 2 permanent stamps and then also a 10-cent stamp, and that's equivalent to a $1.94 stamp. So once your bubbler mailers come in, you have your stamps and all your traders came in, then you're ready to trade. So what you're gonna do is go onto the PIN Facebook group and take photos of your traders and try to make sure it's clear. You can say FT, which is for trade. So you can either caption ISO and then anything that you're trying to collect, or you can say you're willing to look at anything, because that way, even if you're not planning on collecting something, who knows, maybe there will be some higher value pins and then you can trade multiple of yours to get that, and then that's a way to build your traders. So that's another thing to keep in mind, that not every pin is valued the same, and starting off with those cheaper end pins, which is totally fine, and some of them are adorable, and I definitely have a lot of those even in my collection, but to have a handful of those, so then one day maybe if you see a pin that's worth a little more that you really like, or you thought would maybe be a good trader, then you could trade 2, 3, 4, depending what the pin is they have for that. So that's another great way to build your traders, and then eventually you're going to have a good set of traders and you'll be able to say ISO what you're collecting, and you could get higher end pins of what you're collecting. So if you're wondering, how do I find out what the pins even look like of what I'm trying to collect, because I obviously don't see them all on the page, well, there's an awesome resource for that. It's called pinpicks.com. And then you just go into the search bar and you search whatever character, movie, anything, and then you're gonna see everything that has come out. It's not always up to date exactly, but definitely everything a year ago and earlier will be there. And pin trading started in 2000, so there's definitely there's thousands upon thousands of Disney pins there for you to discover. And then once you go to the specific pin, it'll show you information on it, like is it from a booster pack, is it an LE pin, which is a limited edition pin, which there's only a certain amount that were produced and it's harder to get. Is it an OE pin, which is an open edition pin, which is easier to get but still more expensive than a booster pack pin. So it all varies, and that way you can see maybe it came from a set, and then you could look up what that set is and maybe you'll decide to collect the whole set. It's definitely a rabbit hole that once you're in, you get in deep, but it's so much fun. So you posted your photos and you're getting some comments, and maybe they're saying I PM'd you. PM means private message, and then you could check your messages, and it's important to check your message requests or your spam, because it may go into either folder and you won't see it right away. So you go into there, and if you're not sure what that is, you could just try messaging the person and then their message will come up. And then it's important to ask for photos, again, of the pins, the close-up of the front and the back, but now you also have to take close-ups of the front and the back of your pins to help them feel comfortable with the trade. And then once you exchange each other's addresses, you go along and write that up on your new bubbler envelope. It's also really important to wrap them up in bubble wrap. But before you do that, I typically put the pins that I'm going to trade on the envelope with my stamp on it and everything, and then I take a photo of it and I send it to them so they can verify that the address is correct. I suggest telling them to do the same so you can just double check they wrote your address correctly. And also, if you want it addressed to a different name that it doesn't match your Facebook name, to put that there as well when you're giving them the address. And then once they confirm that's correct, you can go ahead and bubble wrap those pins individually and put them in. It's just extra protection. And finally, just have fun with it. Engage with the people you're talking to. Don't be so dry. Spread that Disney magic. It warms my heart when I get to fangirl over pins that I collect and maybe they collect too, or we just talk about a set we really like, or maybe I help them complete a set and we talk about that and how they started, and it just feels nice to talk to people that like the same things I do. So go ahead and put yourself out there and just have a good time, and you never know, you could meet a friend that you regularly talk about pins with, and then you could just talk about life with. I definitely made a couple pin friends, and I am so grateful for this platform that I was able to build those friendships just to keep a tab on other people's ISOs and help them out. And it just feels nice to know that you're returning the joy that they're giving you as well. So I hope this encouraged you to start pin trading if you haven't already. And if you are new, maybe you learned something new, some tips to apply to your pin trading. And overall, I just hope you have a great time. Build some fun collections. I would love to know what you collect in the comments and if you learned anything. And if there's anything I missed, any tips I did not go over, please feel free to put them down in the comments below. I'm learning every day as well, and I'm sure it'll help some other people out. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I show off my collections in other videos. Take care of yourselves and have a magical day. Bye.